Welcome everybody and welcome to Beyond Sustainability course. Here we are sitting with Aarni to discuss a bit of our background for this course and why we are sitting here. So would you like to start, Aarni?
Yeah, well, of course I have to mention because I have been a teacher at the university and Elja was one of my students long time ago.
Like a decade ago.
Yeah, it was something like a decade ago. I have always told the audience that Elja was one of my best students, and now I can impress you that why? Because Elja even during the course was asking me, can I give him more exercises, more assignments? And that has never done any students before, that during the course he did all the assignments and then he was asking me for more assignments. And that's how I got to know Elja a bit more in detail. And from that on we have been working together and also doing other things together. So I think I was right when I picked up Elja 10 years ago, that there's something special with this fellow. Or what do you think?
Always the same story, but well, let's think also about the regeneration theme of this course, like is more always more? That is also the question. You never talk about the quality of the work that
That is exactly right. I have never mentioned it, so we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
But that is something that is really that it's a motivation. Sometimes you can do quite well, sometimes just a medium level, and sometimes you just make a big mistakes. But anyway, it's the motivation that gets us going. And if you find a person or persons around you who have the same level of motivation, I think then things start working better and better.
The momentum starts to build up. Exactly. But maybe I can catch up on this about my background and like Aarni mentioned, Aarni used to be my senior lecturer back in the days at Haga University of Applied Sciences, and things took quite fast off there, and we had a startup together. Maybe to mention, since we are living in this AI boom, and also our course, there will be an own section about it, is that we were working on an AI startup to help with the routine-based work of the teachers in the knowledge work. And it didn't went as expected. It was a bit too early.
It was too early, actually, yeah.
In relation to the current AI boom, and not more about that, but basically, we guess we found this same sort of symbiosis, so to say, to work on other projects as well, and here we are today on working on this course, and my background, to basically put it short, I've been by now 11-12 years in technology business, more in the last few years, more in the technology development, and specifically on the EU project related to green transition and circular economy. So I've kind of like looked eye to eye the limitations of sustainability. There's a lot of talks about like emission targets and how we can adapt and how we can kind of like, and I think in the corporate world it's more and more about kind of like shining the armor, like we have these sustainability reporting requirements and we have to fulfill them. And I guess we have now come to a sort of breaking point that the sustainability is no more enough, that it's no more about like meeting the compliance of the reportings, but we are facing like extrapolating climate effects in terms of
it's a climate
talking. It's the climate talking. That was literally a thunder there. So we have increasing damage made by the climate change to communities, to organizations. So I guess this where we could catch up now, talking about why sustainability is no more enough. And
I agree with what Elja says here, because my background is in management consultancy. I have been working with a lot of international companies that have been improving their strategies, and so on. And also I was teaching organizational behavior. And I do remember like 100 years ago when we had this scientific management approach, that was the first one really that was more a systematic approach to managing and leading people. And then we went on to this human relations approach. And these two like competed with each other. Is it really the data that we have to be looking at, or is it the people that we have to be looking at? Which one is more important? And now I think that this 100-year-old discussion, of course, there are new management and leadership philosophies coming between these 100 years or during these 100 years. But now I think we are on the crossroads. That is it really the question of management and leadership? Is it about data or human relations? Is it now really something else? And I think now regenerative approach means really, if we really look at the bottom of it, that the approach means a paradigm shift of how we run companies. And we will come back to that later. But my role in this sort of a step-to-step approach is to look at regenerative management and leadership. And then Elja is more concentrated on what is about sustainability or regenerative approach when it comes to data collection and analyzing.
And value creation.
Value creation and so on.
Yeah.
So you have your own spot and I have my own spot, and we try to combine those to really come up with something new, but not only because it's new, but it's only something that we desperately need.
Yeah, I think also the point that will be in one of Aarni's videos about these new like articles of association companies need. I think ultimately when we talk about nature as a shareholder for the company, is that for a long time we could have put like nature and the ecosystemic needs behind the doors. But now when the climate change is accelerating, of course we have other geopolitical uncertainties and stuff that it's no more an option. Like if we really want to like leave something sustainable for the further generations to come, like we have to take nature into account in like how we create services, how we innovate, how we design new technologies. There is so much to learn in terms of, for example, biomimicry. Like nature has already invented most of the most efficient ways when we think about the architecture, when we think about efficiency and organizing teams and so on. So this is my point of view, like kind of like coming from the background of seeing what's being done already in the sustainability and understanding that, hey, it's no more that we shouldn't just focus on compliance and adapting, but rather like how we can give back to the nature, which is, I think, still an abstract concept with many of the companies.
Oh yes, indeed. I think also that that this not just sustaining, but also giving back to the nature. This means also that the point of view that what we have been talking about the last 100 years is the economic man approach to everything what we do. That how about if we look at the management and leadership issues from the point of view of combining what is happening with the nature with what we are doing with the companies inside, and then we have to really look at all the things that the companies are doing from a different perspective. And I think this course is something for those people who are interested in this kind of approach. We don't have all the answers, but I think we have some guidelines that you could follow if you really think that there is something very different we have to do in order to comply and even add to the well-being of the nature as well as the company.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing with the regeneration is that I think it's clear for companies like agriculture or who are already by default like directly involved in working with the nature. Like I mean, for agriculture it's clear like you would use, for example, fertilizers that are not damaging the nature or would help to actually.
Yeah, this has been done already.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I think one of the main gists of this course is that you also get to learn about like the immaterial side of so I mean for example with technologies we could say that AI is not sustainable as it is like there is a massive demand for computation for training these large language models that we are dealing with, but it's not so black and white in a way that of course you can find domains of applications for AI where they can accelerate the environmental work. So my point is, one of the key points in this course will be how the industries and companies who are indirectly related to nature can help to restore the ecosystem. So I mean there is an example by a Finnish IT consultancy company called Siili Solutions. So for each employee they hire, they plant trees. So I mean, of course, it's an IT company. They otherwise work with developing IT solutions. They are indirectly related to nature. But this way, they can bring it to their operations. That hey, for each employee that we hire, we help to regenerate the nature. So it's not just about like, and I think this is the most like difficult thing.
I do agree with you because when we see as from the human research management point of view, what we are doing now is that the well-being of the employees and the whole company is of course the number one issue. But then when we come that, okay, could there be two number one issues? The well-being of the company, but also the well-being of the nature. How do we manage this nature? If we plant a tree, we don't manage it at all. We just planted it, it's over there. Of course, it's a way to improve the nature. But how do we combine these two and run our management systems that they improve the well-being of the company, but at the same time, the well-being of the nature, in that respect that we have like defined what is nature to us, what is nature in our company, and how do we combine these two? And then we come to the knowledge management and the systems thinking and also the follow-up systems, that how do we collect data not only from ourselves but also from the nature and combine these as our main strategy.
Yeah, and especially I would also emphasize not only the dynamics of what companies give back to nature, but what nature gives back to us.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, so what we can get, how we can get inspired when we develop technologies or new ways for our teams to work together or leadership. I think this is also something that's not maybe highlighted enough, that there is so much that nature can give back to us. Also, learning to think not only in a regenerative way, but when we talk about circular economy, which is by the way just saying as a bit of a downer, but our circularity rate since the Ukraine's war, it has actually gotten lower because there has been like moving focus on this area of things. But anyways, like the examples of the companies who have figured like circular processes in their product design or how they distribute services or supply chains, they've actually found new ways to serve customers or new ways to create value. So it's also important to understand that these can create for organizations like completely new ways to operate, to create value. So it's not just us giving back to nature, but nature giving back to us.
Oh yes, and I have to conclude from that like when we start with the course and we try to work with the new tools, it's not that now you have to like turn around everything at one point of time. It's more like where are we at the moment? What have we doing previously, or if I'm working independently, so that how could I like implement these things in the next steps that I'm going to work with. So gradually we get the picture of what is a total turnaround, like paradigm shift, and what would be something that we turn sustainability into regeneration. What happens then only in that moment? So I think you should just hold on to your seats and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I think that was a great conclusion. And yeah, I think I will see you guys on the first module, and thanks.
There we go.